It's not really my story, it's our story. Yes. Because I could not have had it done without you.
I met Verdis in the church choir. He really couldn't carry a tune very well. In fact, sometimes I would look to him and I would sing directly in his ear, and that way that would get him back on pitch. I knew that something was wrong on this particular day. All of a sudden, he began to sob. He was sobbing uncontrollably. And he said to me as a child, 5 years old, I was experimented on. I was experimented on with radiation.
They had a little round beanie they put on our heads, and then two girls stood behind a lead screen, and they pushed a button, and it seemed like I saw some flashes. And she told the other nurse, "Oh my God, I've given him too much."
I think any sort of description of what has occurred and what Verdis lives with on a daily basis is nothing short of incredible.
Are you angry?
No. Because if you're angry, that means your heart's not right.
Hallelujah! 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 Singing.
It was God's grace that helped me. It kept me here. I think He wanted the stroke to go. I think He wanted to go. To show the magnitude of His mercy. Because it should be told.
Hi, my name is Wilbert Smith, and we're at the home of Verdis Hardiman. You see, Verdis Hardiman was the hero of the story, Hole in the Head, A Life Revealed. Verdis lived here, and yes, he died here. Verdis lived in this community. In fact, we attended the same church, stood next to each other in the church choir for over 20 years. He was everyone's hero in their own personal way. We want to share with you some of the experiences of some of the people who have not only purchased the book and have seen the award-winning documentary, but indeed individuals who are actually taking part in the curriculum that's designed for schools and businesses. We want you to stay with us for a few minutes because you're going to hear how this story has changed their lives, and perhaps you will get motivated that you'd like your life changed too.
And I really, really think that a lot of people need to read the book and see the movie because it's very, very much of an inspiration.
I feel that this story really helped open our eyes.
For our children.
No matter how mean someone is to me or how bad something happens to me, I gotta know that if he can go through something so difficult, I can too.
You turn that pain into motivation, and it really inspires me as a person.
He worked so hard for 40 years, never missing a day of work, making $8 million, and then deciding to donate a good majority of it to charity.
These are kind of the core values that we need in our young people so that they can explore the world through the eyes of Verdis. What he saw, what he learned, what he felt, what he experienced.
We discovered that the relationships are better, that they treat one another with dignity and respect.
When you have students who are struggling and on the verge of dropping out of school and you can increase retention by 60% more than a letter grade, what else could do that? We haven't found anything else that has such a significant impact as Hole in the Head, A Life Revealed.
My name is Howard, and this is my wife, Marion. And we both read a book that had a pretty big effect on us.
As a professor and a teacher in school, it is my belief, since I've read the story, that it is so beneficial for the population in those schools, grades, high school and college, to read a story that they can truly experience and then maybe give them the opportunity to do some changing themselves. I highly recommend this book and film to junior high, high school, and college students.
We're here in Los Angeles with Horace Warmley. Horace is with the city of Pasadena. He's the Director of Parks and Recreation as well as Human Services. And we want to thank Horace for writing us and telling us how he's using our story, Hole in the Head, A Life Revealed, and the success he's having.
Horace, thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks, Wilbert. In Pasadena, I have the opportunity to work with a diverse group of young people in the various parks and rec programs that we offer. And this book, Holding Ahead, A Life Revealed, has been a required reading as well as the video being a required viewing. And what we've done with this is we've actually had an opportunity to have conversations with the young people to make it part of our curriculum. One of the challenges that we had with the young people when we first reached out to them were they were not all getting along. There was bullying, they were not doing well in school. After we've had the viewing of the video and the reading of the book and meeting with the parents and discussion among themselves, we discovered that the relationships are better, that they treat one another with dignity and respect.
What did you think of that book?
It was very, very exciting. It was very emotional in parts, yet it was somebody that really went through a lot of struggles, was a conqueror, a warrior, proceeded, went on with his life. And it's something that everybody needs to read the book, see the movie. You can learn a lot of things about real life that actually happens in many people's lives. And yet he was somebody that persevered and continued and lived a very, very full life. This man never, ever really complained. He was really stoic in everything that he did and everybody that he came in contact with. He fought to the very, very end. Yet it was emotional, but it was exciting in many parts. A lot of his aspects of life were something that he really persevered and was very much of a warrior. And I really, really think that a lot of people need to read the book and see the movie because it's very, very much of an inspiration.
Hi, we're in Pasadena, California, and I have the distinct honor to be in the presence of Police Chief Philip Sanchez. You know, young people are our concern. These are our kids. And too many times our children are doing some of the wrong things. And we, as adults, are always looking for tools that we could provide them to make their lives a little easier, a little better, and have them as law-abiding citizens.
Police Chief Sanchez, thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks for the opportunity again to really weigh in on an extraordinary man. Really, the whole story about Holding Ahead, A Life Revealed. It's about tolerance. It's about forgiveness. I remember listening to a lecture not long ago where you narrated about the story. It's about love and acceptance. These are kind of the core values that we need in our young people so that they can explore the world through the eyes of Verdis. What he saw, what he learned, what he felt, what he experienced, all under the notion of, you know, things didn't go exactly as I'd planned and I was actually treated very poorly, but I'm willing to love and forgive those individuals. If we can take the lessons learned from Holding Ahead, A Life Revealed, and use that as the framework for expectations of behavior for our young people going forward, we can help them navigate the complicated issues associated with growing up right here in Pasadena, nationally, frankly, globally. Because the lessons learned from that book and from Verdis' experience simply are of love and tolerance and forgiveness. These are the values that we cherish, that are taught from schools and from home, from parents and guardians and mentors, from law enforcement officials. And so if we can harness that knowledge, if we can harness that experience, then our young people are going to be better prepared for the adversity we know that will surely come. It wasn't much different from when you and I were growing up. We didn't have significant mentors or lessons learned. But if we're going to harness this experience, if we're really going to maximize the story, then we need to get this curriculum into our schools, here at the local level, here in Pasadena, at a national level, and beyond if possible. We need to be able to study with rigor and discourse and insight about what were the values and how can we avoid these situations in the future.
Consider owning the book and DVD film of this life-changing true story. When you purchase the combo pack, you'll receive a free bonus CD containing Verdis' song entitled I Choose to Love. Go to www.holeinthehead.com, click on Order Now. It will change your life.
I'm in Los Angeles County, and I have the honor of sitting with Superior Court Judge Philip Soto. Judge Soto is within the family court, and he deals on a daily basis with families and their challenges. Those challenges involve young people. It involves the kinds of things that Hole in the Head, A Life Revealed addresses. Judge Soto, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you very much, Dr. Smith. Yes, I read the book and I watched the DVD. This is a tremendous tool in your curriculum. As a judge that sits in juvenile court and deals with young people and their parents day in and day out, seeing the challenges, seeing the pain, seeing the anger that comes through in every court hearing. It's amazing to me, just amazing to me what can be learned from this man and the struggles that he had in this terrible situation where he was taken advantage of as a young child with this awful, awful experimental procedure that went on for him. The book was incredible. As soon as I was finished, I gave it to my court clerk. She couldn't put it down. She hasn't seen the DVD yet, but I'm sure she would find that just as interesting as the book. It's an incredible story. It's a story that everyone should read. It's truly, truly inspirational.
You know, we spend all this time working together and we hardly ever get to know each other beyond our job duties. The curriculum here, I'm surprised at how much we have in common. Until we went through this exercise, I never knew all these things about you.
I agree. You know, it is so funny. I love bowling, and I didn't know so many of us in here love to go bowl. I saw Cheryl at the bowling alley.
We've designed unique student and adult curriculums for schools and businesses based on the inspirational messages of the story Hole in the Head, A Life Revealed. Through the Life Revealed circle process, we're building better relationships. Our true story encourages us to stamp out bullying, to better deal with grief, and valuable ways to build happiness. We want our participants to know themselves in order to grow themselves while learning methods of overcoming adversity and facing unfairness. We focus on taking care of oneself, both mentally and physically, demonstrating warning signs associated with anger. We examine how we treat others while recognizing the value of showing gratitude and knowing where to go for help when we need it most.
So let me tell you about a couple of my favorite parts of this curriculum. First one was the in-kind quilt. I thought that was a great exercise for bringing people out. We worked together in close proximity under stressful conditions. We're always focused on our work, and then getting out when we can. And this let us open up. People then started to relate to each other as people, to get a little bit deeper beneath the surface, and relax.
Consider owning the book and DVD film of this life-changing true story. When you purchase the combo pack, you'll receive a free bonus CD containing Verdis' song entitled I Choose to Love. Go to www.holeinthehead.com, click on Order Now. It will change your life.
As a Latino man, I feel that this is a story that needs to be shared with everybody, not just white, black, or brown. This has to be shared with as many people as possible. This is a story of love and forgiveness, and really inspirational to many people. I think myself personally, I feel that this story really helped open our eyes.
Yes, for our children, so they could know also the struggles.
It's a story about love, hardship, struggle, forgiveness. Inspirational. If I can label it, I was inspired by the book, and I was inspired by the film.
Heartwarming.
It really made you feel warm inside. Mr. Hardiman's words at the end when he gave thanks to Mr. Smith for helping him share the story. When he got emotional in the film, I couldn't help, we couldn't help to get
choked up.
This is an emotional story that will change your life. Before you get angry or complain about small things, you will first think about Verdis, then realize that life's small issues are not worth the anger, stress, or pain that affects our lives. I understand you're now using the circle process.
That process has worked wonderfully with our students.
Tell me how it's going.
Everyone has bought into it. Everyone is using the I word, not me or they. It is spilling out into the greater community because they've taken it home and told parents the process. It couldn't act better.
When kids watch the film and then they go right into the guidebook and the facilitator, of course, takes over. But tell me, what is it like? What's the mood of the students and how do you get them motivated now to take the next step?
They liked what they saw on the film. They liked the message that Verdis left them with. And I think that it is going to be so meaningful and so instrumental in us moving to the next level.
And the circle, the power of it, talking about it, is pretty powerful, isn't it?
It has changed them remarkably. It is affecting their daily lives. They're really excited about the next time we meet. It has just been a plus on all levels.
Now lesson 9, that's that parental component. And we find that schools really want to have parents involved. And we figured a way to design a component, a lesson plan, that will give kids tools to take those home and have an opportunity to talk to their parents about various things. We're in Claremont, California, and we're at the Webb School. It's a private institution, but our process works very well with public education as well. This is a group and a school made up of a number of ethnicities. We've got all colors, we've got all ages here. We thought that we would take time and get the high school kids together and we were talk about some of the issues affecting life. I'd like to first give you some of the rules of the circle. First, everything that is stated in the circle will remain in the circle. The next thing is that we will be very sincere within the circle and we will be very honest and very forthright. There is no laughing in the circle because everything that's stated within the circle is absolutely stated from the heart. And this is the place where you come to actually be yourself, to open up and expose who you are, because you can trust your brother or sister to either your left or your right. So the first thing I'd like to do is I'd like to introduce the talking piece. It means that when you have possession of the talking piece, this is actually your time to speak. It's your time to reflect. So let's go ahead and move forward with the Life Revealed Circle.
From this story, I learned to love and trust everyone more than I did because we never realize the struggles, how easy the struggles are that we go through are until we actually go through them. And our struggles are nothing compared to Verdis' struggles, and we should just learn to love through everything.
And he had this injury and he never made excuses for himself. He turned that pain into motivation, and it really inspires me as a person.
Verdis turned his situation from a very dark and melancholy sadness to a lot of happiness, and it didn't really affect his way of living because in the end he lived the life that he wanted, even if it came with a lot of difficult circumstances and he was bullied a lot. And that kind of taught me to take that perseverance and convert that into my life as positive energy. No matter how mean someone is to me or how bad something happens to me, I gotta know that if he can go through something so difficult, I can too.
He managed to create a huge net worth and be able to donate as much as he wanted to amazing charities, and he showed that he wanted to help people and he didn't want this to happen ever again, and he did not use this as an excuse. There were so many other paths that he could have taken, but he chose the one full of happiness and full of giving and loving and caring.
At first Verdis thought, he didn't want to dig up that past that he'd been trying to forget for so long, but then
I really admired him that he chose to, embrace it and say, this is who I am.
He worked so hard for 40 years, never missing a day of work, making $8 million, and then deciding to donate a good majority of it to charity. It just shows how amazing of a person he is.
Verdis just forgave everyone who always bullied him. I think that was really cool, and I think that watching him in the curriculum, I think that I can be a more forgiving person through that.
I found Wilbert and Verdis' friendship very inspiring. I mean, it takes a lot of moral courage to be so deeply and so closely connected with someone still so different.
What you just saw were parts of the Life Revealed Circle. It was a time when students came together, students who really thought they knew one another, but really didn't. These are students who had an opportunity to put their passions on the table, put their ideas, their thoughts there, and others had an opportunity to take that information and use it to the benefit of their own lives. They as well had an opportunity through one of the 9 lessons, one actually involving parents, where they went home and talked to their parents about what were some of the things that our grandparents did and how did they feel about certain topics. They brought that information back, had an opportunity to share it with their fellow classmates.
The story really started when I was looking for something to do my doctoral dissertation on. I wanted something that I could become passionate about. And after I met you, this story touched me so deeply that I knew this was the topic for my dissertation. As I got into the story and got more excited and more passionate about it, I began thinking about how could this story make a difference in the lives of our students. We wanted to look at the impact that this story, A Hole in the Head, A Life Revealed, could have on our students. And as we began thinking, academic probation seemed like the perfect spot, the perfect avenue, because these students are struggling, they're looking for something that can make a difference in their lives, and we are looking for something that can make a difference in their lives, help them connect their potential with the ability to be successful. This story was the perfect solution because as those students began to read the book, and then ultimately we showed the documentary at the end of the semester to them, but first they read the book chapter by chapter and they wrote page-long summaries of what difference the book was making in their lives as they went. It was just amazing to see them make the connections between the lives of their families, the lives in their spectrum, and Verdis' life. We were able to increase retention by 60%. That's more than a letter grade. That is amazing. Any institution wants to do that with their students. When you have students who are struggling and on the verge of dropping out of school and you can increase retention by 60%, more than a letter grade, what else could do that? We haven't found anything else that has such a significant impact as Hole in the Head, A Life Revealed.
Clearly the story is a very moving story. Here's a guy who is given a set of life experiences that he had to deal with.
When I found out that big surprise that I saw, I was really in tears. Even though now when I talk about it, I feel so bad about this man's suffers. That was the time that I watched the film.
But it's, the message is, what did he do with his life? He actually all of us have some difficult times in our lives, but the point is, how can we turn those to do things for the rest of society? How can we move ourselves ahead? That's what moved me. How can I go off to do better things for the future?
He tried to show the world that, all his love and all his forgiveness and turn all those negative to positive. This is the main thing of the film and the book.
And this book also gives us a lot of positive mindset that we should learn from. And I agree with Donna and Mark that educators should look into this book and this film, should use this book and this film, this story, to teach our kids, regardless the color of your skin. We all should learn from this book to better off our society, to better off our school environment.
Yeah, you're right, William. You know, in many of our public schools, if you just go and visit them, you will see the racial divide where the different races are sitting in each of their tables, and there's not a lot of interaction and interchange. And so, absolutely, that this film and this book can be a viable resource to educate them, so that it could break down these barriers, so that we could have more harmony.
There is a book called Hole in the Head, A Life Revealed. There's also the feature film that you just saw. And there's also a song that was written for Verdis, and it's entitled, I Choose to Love. And it really sums up Verdis's life.
I was struck by Mr. Hardiman's sense of forgiveness, joy in everyday life, his beautiful smile, the fact that he has endured and survived so much, but lives a life of service and contributes to society and just brightens up everyone's day.
Just his attitude about what happened to him and how he was able to live his life the way he did. You know, he was just a good person.
It was amazing to see a gentleman that has gone through so much and was able to not have any animosity to the people that had done that to him.
There is no better and more incredible story out there that needs to be heard today. This story has the power to change lives. It has the power to touch those who are young and seeking their direction, those who are a little more seasoned but like to have it tweaked, and those, of course, who believed and thought that they had it all together, but in fact have realized that there's still room for improvement.
A love of respect and kindness.
So today with me, I have Pastor Tyrone Skinner, who is the pastor of Metropolitan Baptist Church. Pastor, thank you so much for being with us.
I've watched the film, and I think that it was such an amazing film. Some of our parishioners have also seen the film. They've given rave reviews because Mr. Hardiman was really a prime example of how we ought to live our lives in a positive way, in spite of what our circumstances may be.
Hole in the Head, A Life Revealed, we have captured it in 3 different formats. It's in book form, it's in documentary film form, and a curriculum designed for high schoolers and adults. It's been used so far in a number of different capacities. The University of North Carolina, for instance, uses it to recruit students into their medical programs. The University of Vincennes has decided to take all of their students who are serving some form of academic probation and encouraging them to first take a look at this story, the book, the film, and the curriculum before they re-enter the university. And to their surprise, grades increased on average 1.3 grades. In their own words, this was unheard of. It's an incredible story that we want you to own, and we will share with you how you'll be able to get it. Go to our website, www.holeinthehead.com.
Consider owning the book and DVD film of this life-changing true story. Go to www.holeinthehead.com. Click on Order Now. It will change your life.